Today, our guest joining us is a product of Stanford University, is from California, was drafted by the Cardinals in 2016 in the 6th round, and broke into the major leagues last year. Debut, I believe, is June 8th, was his major league debut. Tommy Edman. Tommy, how are you?
What's going on, Mick? Great to see you guys again.
Thanks for hopping on, Tommy.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah, of course. Glad to be on.
No, hey man, thanks for joining us. It's an honor to have you on, and a little bit of background about Tommy here, kind of his stats after breaking into the majors last year as a rookie. Through 92 games and 326 official plate appearances, he finished the year with a 304 average, with 11 home runs, 17 doubles, 7 triples to finish off that rookie year, which I look back, and actually the league leader in triples was 10. You finished with 7 there. That could be a golden league in here going forward.
Yeah, I'll go for that this year. Lead the league in triples. That'll be one of my goals for sure.
I like it. I love it, man. But no, man, hey, your success that you've been rolling here, you got a fan here out in Pittsburgh, and we're enjoying watching you. So we'll get right into this here. First question I want to ask is basically, from the start of you playing, being able to play with you our first year in 2016 together, we had the privilege of winning the New York Penn League that year. So we got a ring that year. And your second year, the opportunity came about where you were in the playoffs with the AAA affiliated team. You won it there. 2018, won it again. So kind of wanted to ask, what did you learn through those first 3 years, which is really rare to be able to win a ring. And what did you see, kind of team chemistry? What brought a lot of that success to the team?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to first start by going back to that state college team that we were on together. And I remember that must have been one of the most dominant short season teams we've had. I think that we won probably twice as many games. We won like 50 and 25 or something like that.
It was
I think a huge part of that could be attributed to the fact that all the guys on the team, we all loved playing together. It was just an unbelievable group of guys. And I kind of have seen that at the levels I've grown up, is you can tell which teams enjoy being together and which teams are kind of just playing for themselves. And you can definitely see that the teams that like being together end up playing way better, even though the talent differences might not be that huge. They end up just performing that much better. So yeah, going back to that state college year, we ended up winning the championship. Unbelievable group of guys, and 17 and 18 I was fortunate to be on some other really great teams as well. And I think having had that experience playing in the playoffs and going that deep into the year, because when you're playing that deep in the year, you've played so many games throughout the year that you're mentally drained, you're physically drained, and you really got to find that last gear to really power through. And I think having had that experience helped out this past year when we got to playoffs and being able to perform well in playoffs. So hopefully we'll keep that up and keep playing as late into the year as we can.
Absolutely. I love that answer, because like, if we touched on the word chemistry, I think it's so key. And what you said, like, you guys played well together. You guys still, to this day, from that team, like 4 years later, Mick mentioned you have a group chat, 6 or 7, you guys still talk all the time. And that doesn't really happen too often from teams you played on just for one season, so I think chemistry is a big key to that, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Just unbelievable group of guys. That group chat is Camden's uncles, which is one of our buddy, Danny Hudzina, his daughter.
Shout out Danny.
Referred to us as his uncles. Yeah.
That's too funny. Next question I had for you, Tommy. So ever since you guys, starting in that year, you guys came into the minors together, being able to watch you all that year and then follow you till this day, something I've noticed, just me, like I said, watching, is it seems like you never struggle and you never really, like, quote unquote, go in the tank or have a bad year or anything. You're so consistent, always hitting roughly 300 almost every season, including your first big league season. In your words, in your mind, like, what are some keys to consistency in baseball that's such a tough sport on your mind and just like battling the mentalities when you do actually struggle for you?
Yeah, I think consistency in baseball is almost entirely mental. And the season is just so long. I mean, in the majors, you're playing 162 games, and you're going to have sometimes when your swing is feeling good and your swing is feeling bad. And when your swing's feeling bad, number one, you got to try to figure out how to make that bad spell as short as possible. So that goes back to having some cues. And one of the important things that I like to do is go back to watching video from when my swing was feeling really good and compare that to what my swing was looking like when it's feeling bad. And maybe when my swing's feeling good, I'll write down some notes about what my cues are at the time and what it feels like. So when I'm feeling bad, I can go back to my notebook, see what things are working for me at the time, and go back to that. So that's the first thing, is making those bad spells as short as possible. And the second thing is, even when your swing's feeling bad, you still have a chance to go up to the plate and just compete. And maybe you'll get a rollover hit or something like that. Maybe salvage like a 1 for 4, because those 1 for 4 days are the ones that save you rather than going 0 for 5. Yeah. So it's just, and a big part of that too is just tricking yourself into thinking that your swing is feeling really good and you're feeling really confident at the plate, and just not giving away those at bats even when you're feeling bad.
No, I think you hit it right on the head there. Even our first guest of our video series here, who was an ex-teammate, Andy Young, actually touched on the same exact kind of side where the mental side, how he uses a notebook, kind of goes back and just keeps track of what when he's feeling real good, and if he's kind of struggling that little bit, what he can go back to. Because I think personally, when you can figure that out at a younger age, that's just going to put you in a better position to prevent the slumps, make you mentally stronger, and put yourself in the best position to just elevate your game faster than slower.
Oh yeah, and it's really easy to do. You can just jot down like some small little cue, and it can end up helping you a ton in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love the advice of taking notes, like you said, and you and Andy both do it, and you're both, in the major leagues and getting ready to roll. So I think it's great advice for anyone listening.
Yeah, it's a big key to success. But next question here. For those who don't know, Tommy is a switch hitter, which in today's baseball is kind of a lost art. You don't see it as much as you did in the 90s and the early 2000s. And kind of wanted you to touch on that because it's a pretty interesting story. Being able to play with you, was able to hear this story at our time at State College, and kind of wanted you to talk about that a little bit, how you got into it.
Yeah, so I originally started as just a right-handed hitter throughout like T-ball and Little League, and going up through travel ball. And I think starting in 8th grade, I started messing around with hitting a little bit lefty. And one of my coaches in 8th grade told me, if you're going to be a switch hitter, you got to fully commit to it. You can't just go up 1 at bat per game and just try a lefty at bat. You got to be going up there against every right-handed pitcher and hitting lefty. So I fully committed to it right before my freshman year. Hit switch my whole freshman year, partway through sophomore year, and I started to struggle a bit from the left side. So I went back to just right-handed, and mainly because that was the time when recruiting was starting to pick up, and I felt like I was a much better hitter righty than lefty. And then after I committed to Stanford, they saw that they knew that I had hit switch in the past. So they asked me if I wanted to try again my senior year. So I did try, and I worked super hard at it. Took tons of swings from the left side in that whole fall of senior year and the summer leading up. Sorry about that. We're good?
Okay.
All right. And the summer leading up to that, and ended up having a good year, and have been hitting switch ever since then. And I would just say the best advice I've heard from everyone who's been successful at hitting switch at the highest levels is that you have to treat yourself as 2 different hitters. Not one hitter with 2 different swings. You're 2 completely different hitters. Because my lefty swing and my righty swing, kind of going back to what I was talking about, have 2 very different cues. And I just have to remember to separate those 2. And there will be some days where my lefty swing feels good and my righty swing feels bad, and some days where my righty feels good and my lefty feels bad. So just recognizing that, and knowing that there are certain things that I do righty better than I do lefty, and vice versa. And just being able to separate those 2, I would say, is key.
It's almost like double the practice, pretty much. Like if you go in and take a round with a guy that's just a righty, are you hitting double what he's hitting, or are you kind of splitting your time in half and doing half and half, if that makes sense?
I'll usually in pre-game BP, I'll take the same number of rounds. So usually we do 4 rounds of BP, and I'll do 2 righty, 2 lefty, whereas everyone else will do 4 of their normal side, and then I'll get my extra swings in during the cage time.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, that's the thing where you might have to take that double workload to make sure you're getting the reps. And like you said, it's just honing into what side you might be preparing for. You might be seeing a righty, so it's like, all right, gonna get a lot of lefty swings, a lot of righty swings. But I think it's crazy just how some hitters that we work with, because we get lessons, kind of mess around, hit the opposite side, and it doesn't look too bad. And I bring up your story sometimes. I was like, hey man, I played with a guy that's in the bigs right now who he didn't really pick it up till high school. So if you want to mess around with it, try it, because it's a lost art. And I know, especially an organization like the Cardinals, they appreciate that in hitters, the switch hitting aspect, because it's hard to do, and little things like that definitely stand out.
Yeah, there's two guys in our organization, Dexter Fowler and Willie McGee, who both didn't start hitting switch until they got to pro ball, actually.
Oh, really?
And they've both talked about how they worked so hard and took tons of swings left-handed just to catch up to the right side. So it's never too late, especially if you're a kid.
If somebody said, hey, Tommy, you're in the home run derby next year, would you hit righty or lefty?
I'd probably hit righty. I think my BP is still a little bit better from the right side.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
My next question for you is kind of just a fun one. Viewers probably always wonder this and never get the chance to get most people's opinion, but give me your toughest pitcher to hit in the MLB, and then the top three also.
The toughest pitcher I faced was probably Garrett Cole. I think I faced him 3 times in the game that we played against them, and struck out twice and popped out once. But first inning, he struck me on like a 92-mile-an-hour slider.
Right.
And 7th inning, I think I struck out on a 100-mile-an-hour high fastball on his like 110th pitch. So
unreal.
Yeah, he's a freak, and his fastball just completely disappears.
On TV, it looks sometimes like it rises. Like in the boxes, that thing just almost look like it's got so much spin rate that it's almost taken up on you.
Yeah, there's several guys like that where if it starts above your belt, you just can't swing because you know it's going to be a ball.
It's just going to continue on that path.
Yeah.
Have you faced Chapman or no?
No, I have not faced Chapman yet.
Okay.
I faced – what's that? No, I faced Scherzer was really, really good. He's just an incredible competitor. Strasburg has an unhittable changeup.
Right.
You can't see it at all out of the hand, and he just dives last second. Yeah. You can sit on it, and you still swing and miss. But,
what about Kershaw?
Kershaw, I did face Kershaw a couple at bats. He just knows what he's doing.
Right.
He's got a game plan. He sticks to it and doesn't make mistakes. And then a couple of closers that we faced. A guy, Liam Hendricks from the A's, was nasty this past year.
Yeah.
Trying to think of other. Oh,
Vasquez.
Vasquez. I know he's had some questionable off-field issues, but he's nasty.
Right.
He was that being a Pittsburgh guys here. That's what seeing him coming in the 9th it was nice to see until some off.
Right, man. He's nasty.
Yeah. He is a good pitcher though. I'll give him that.
Absolutely.
But, we faced a lot of very good pitchers last year, so it's kind of hard to pick just 3.
Yeah. Right, I know. I was just, top 3, whatever.
Yeah.
Last question here, another fun one to finish it off. So you've been on some teams all the way, minors, Arizona Fall League, had some teammates like Vlad Jr., and then now in the major leagues. Who would you say puts on the best BP that you've ever played with?
I got to say the one name that stands above everybody else is Mick Fennell. Like the State College Spikes.
There we go.
He's a stud.
There we go.
Jumping the balls in the right field stands in State College.
Think it over the wall. I'll get one right up there for him. If we got a couple people in the first or second row, I'll give him a souvenir.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, it was fun. It was such a fun team.
Actually,
a couple of guys on that team. Andy Young, who you were talking about, he's got a really good BP. Ryan McCarville. He had some juice, and like you were saying, I played with Vladdy in the Arizona Fall League, and the ball just comes off his bat different than everybody else. I think he almost killed a guy during one of the games. He was 103 mile an hour right off the bat and hit the pitcher in the head. And
my God!
Yeah, he ended up being all right, but it was so scary at the time.
Yeah, that's anything like that.
Yeah, he's crazy.
How about Goldschmidt and BP? Does he put on a show?
Yeah, he really does. He's got some serious juice. And actually, last year I would say the farthest homers were Marcell Ozuna.
Oh,
He'd
yeah.
have some times where I think his last round at BP, he just tried to hit as far as he could, and they'd go about 500 feet.
Put it up in Big Mac land.
Big Mac land would go about halfway up Big Mac land.
You got to appreciate the long ball, dude, in BP especially.
Oh, yeah. He's crazy. But, yeah, I've been very fortunate to play with a lot of guys who can hit the ball pretty far.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
That is
awesome.
Well, Tommy, we appreciate you hopping on, man. You got two big fans out here in Pittsburgh, and hopefully we can get you some more fans, even though we're in the same division. Definitely get you some Tommy, or get some Pittsburgh folks turn into some Tommy Edman fans.
I know you got more than two out here, Tommy, because I got a little 8-year-old nephew who you're his favorite player. You got your jersey. You got your jersey for Christmas. You got your rookie card. He's been collecting what he's got so far. So
nice. Love to hear that. Very cool.
Absolutely.
All right, but thanks, Tommy. We appreciate it. It was good talking to you, man.
All right.
Yeah, thanks Tommy.
Right, see you guys.
Yeah.